welcome back. I am so excited for this video today. I have been thinking about this video for probably a month, telling my kids I'm going to do that video and make those pizzas. And they're like, when are you doing that? Well, it's been about a month since I've been talking about it. Today's the day. I'm going to try to get it all done. So what I'm doing is making a bunch of freezer pizzas. Usually on Saturdays, we have a pizza and movie night. My husband's at work, my older daughter's usually at work, and it's just the younger kids and I. And so we make pizza and we have treats and we watch a movie or a show or whatever. There's always some variation of pizza. Lately it's just been pizza. It's nothing like special. But the kids have been asking for like calzones and spaghetti pizzas. So maybe next week, I don't know. What I want to do is get some pizzas in the freezer to have ready to go so that I'm not pulling out the mixer every single week to make these pizzas. That'll just be easier for me. We're gonna get as much done as we can. This is my ingredients for the crust. Was pulling crust recipes off the internet and trying over and over to get something that we liked. I got so frustrated one day that I just made my own crust. This is the one I've been using since, and we really like it. It's 1.5 teaspoons of honey. I just have raw honey. I think this was from Aldi. And honey is a pain in the butt to measure, so I just eyeball. 2 cups of water. You want your water to be warm, but not hot. 2.5 teaspoons of yeast, so that's equivalent to 1 packet. And I have active dry yeast. It's in the wrong jar, but I just use this jar to refill. But I just keep this in my freezer and then refill my jar, and then I keep the jar in the fridge. And I've not had a problem with dead yeast in a long time, so that works out really well. I think we're gonna end up needing probably 6 crusts, and I don't wanna be waiting around in between every batch. These do whip up pretty quick though. It says rise for 20 minutes. I usually let it rise for 20 or 30, and it only needs 1 rise. Which again, I just made this recipe up, so I don't know. Kind of just go with what I'm feeling that day. But it's a simple recipe, and it works well, and it tastes good. Oh, I forgot. I made yogurt the other day, and I have all this whey, and I used this from this jar for Saturday's pizza. I didn't notice a huge difference in the crust, which means that it didn't make it better or worse. So I'm gonna use this for this crust today and hopefully use this up. I probably have enough for like 2 crusts in here, but I do need to warm it because you need it warm for the yeast. And whey has good enzymes, and apparently there's protein in it. I don't really know the stats on it, but I do know that it's supposed to be good for you. So I try to save it and use it the best I can. Okay, so this has been just a couple minutes. It's already getting foamy. 3 to 4 cups of flour. I usually use closer to 5 or 6. I need to adjust my recipe. And I'll type this out, like you don't have to worry about trying to write stuff down. I'll type it out. But anytime you work with dough, flour measurements are kind of up for interpretation. Like you don't want to go too much and you don't want to over flour it, but it depends on like your elevation and the weather and you know how cold or hot your kitchen is, whether you blinked or not. So you kind of got to just go by how it looks and feels. But this is 5. I'm likely going to use a 6th one, but I'll let this knead for a little bit first. And then we do 2 teaspoons of salt. And I've also put like herbs in here, garlic salt, Italian seasoning, things like that. That's good too. Probably a tablespoon of olive oil or avocado oil or whatever kind of oil you like. And then I'm just gonna let this knead for a few minutes. So I'm gonna let this knead for longer, but it's already like forming a dough and it's not sticking to the side. So on Saturday, when I made this, I used closer to 6 cups of flour. Today I threw in 5 and it looks like it's gonna be fine. So that's what I'm kind of mean about the flour stuff. If you're a baker and you do work with doughs, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not a baker, You just have to pay attention to what it looks like and get it to a, like, I don't know, semi-sticky consistency. It's not overly sticky, but it's not so dry that, because then you get like a chewy, gross crust. Okay, so this dough looks great. I'm very happy with that. I'm going to put it into this bowl that I've oiled, and then it shouldn't dry out because I've got the oil on it. I'll just cover it with a towel. I've got my oven warmed, and it'll sit in there for 20 or 30 minutes or whatever. This is crust number 2. I think that I decided that I need 6 crusts, and then I'm gonna make a couple extra crusts just to keep in, well, not crusts, I guess it'd be a dough ball, to keep in the freezer in case we want like a strange pizza, like a macaroni pizza or something. Because that one's kind of nichey and I don't want to have it sitting in the freezer. That would be more of like a, hey, we have leftover macaroni and we want to make it into a pizza. Okay, so that's number 2. Get the third one going here. All right, that's dough number 3. This will be number 4. Okay, so what I'm doing now, this is the first dough that's ready to go, but I think it's about double. I don't know. I greased these 2 pans that I have. I think I'll be able to split this in half for this, so I'm gonna try that. I don't quite remember what I calculated out, but I think that one of these will do, or half of this will do one of those. But this dough is really soft. It's not sticky. It turns out so nice. It's just really nice dough. If this isn't enough, I'll throw the rest in. It's not a big deal. But I think I could probably do it with 1/2. So half the dough ball did this giant pizza crust, which is great. I'm gonna let this just relax and then stretch it one more time, and then I'll start cooking these. And we're almost done with the dough, which is awesome. So this has been sitting for a few minutes. I'm letting the oven preheat, and then I'll get this thrown in there. I like to pre-bake the crust. I'll probably make sure that it's browned all the way, whereas when I make it like on Saturdays, I don't always brown it all the way because we're gonna do the toppings right away. I don't know if that makes sense. Whatever, I'm gonna pre-bake the crust. The oven's preheating. For these pans, I picked these up at a secondhand store. I have 8 of them, I believe, and they were from a restaurant. And I think when I made these a couple weeks ago on these pans, I could get 4 of these out of 1 dough. I'm gonna oil these up and start laying those doughs out. This fits really nice on here. This was 1/4 of the crust. When this relaxes for a few minutes, I'll be able to stretch it better to the edges. I usually make 1 dough ball on this sheet pan and everybody eats it. This is actually dirty from Saturday still. Made them on these separate little ones and each kid got their own, which essentially was just dividing the pizza up before I cooked it, because normally the 1 sheet pan gives us enough for everybody to eat on Saturday and then leftovers for lunch on Sunday. When I did it separate, it worked out just the same, but the difference was the kids got to decorate their crust however they wanted, and then they had like their own pizza, and they thought that was really fun. So I'm trying to decide how I can do this, because if on a Saturday I pull these out, we're not gonna just pull 1 out, we'll probably pull 4 out, and then they have lunch for Sunday too, and it works out really well. But then this isn't gonna go for like a whole month. You know, it looks like a ton of pizza, but these are pretty, these aren't little, but they're thin. So a kid will probably eat like half, about 4 slices of thin pizza isn't a big deal. Then they have lunch. I gotta just mentally figure out how long this is gonna last me so that I can make as many crusts as I need. And since the crusts need to cool completely before I can put the toppings on, I can reuse the pans if I need to. because I'm not going to freeze them in the pans. I don't know what I'm doing yet. This got pretty tough. I don't know why this one's like that. I think this is crust number 6 right here that's going in, and then I'll probably have to make some decisions. Doesn't look like my yeast is getting as foamy either, which is weird. I did buy 2 bags of flour for this, 2 5-pound bags. The internet told me that there was like 16 to 19 cups of flour in each 5-pound bag. I think I got 16 cups out of that first bag, or 15, and then there was a little left. So I can always switch to bread flour. I think I have 3 bags of bread flour floating around. And I'm out of salt, so that's got to go on the list. But other than that, this is going pretty well. Oh yeah, I guess these are getting bigger. Look at that. Can you see the difference? I'm gonna set a timer for probably 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna switch those pizzas so they cook evenly. This dough needs more flour. Isn't that weird? This is batch 6. And I think the only difference is that the liquid was a little colder when I threw it together, and I thought it'd be fine, but now I'm seeing it needs more flour, which is weird. The first 2 pizza crusts are out. I put 2 more in. It was a little stuck to the pan, but it came off okay. And look at how nice that looks. Browned so beautifully. It was a little stuck, but it wasn't bad at all. So I'm really happy with that. Hopefully they all cook this nice. These ones are deep dish pizzas. They should be equivalent to those big ones that I just showed you. So I should be able to use half a dough ball. My machine, my KitchenAid, is hot, so I need to give that a rest. I did make the 6 crusts that I was planning on making, but I did not yet make the crust to go into the freezer, and I didn't do any extras. So I'll let that cool off, and we'll get these taken care of. And then we'll see how that is and how I'm feeling. You know, how the household's looking. So I gotta switch the crust. This dough's really nice too. It doesn't seem to overproof. Maybe because it only sits for 20 minutes, it's got a lot of wiggle room with the time. But I'm not having any issues with it, so that's great. My husband and I really like the deep dish pizzas. So hopefully this is thick enough in here. Should be fine. I don't really know either, like how we're gonna use these other than Saturday night. Like, I think these thick crust ones that I'm doing right now, I think I'll make jalapeno pizzas, because that's what my husband and I like, and we like the thicker crust. And this wouldn't really be big enough for the whole family, so this would be more like, hey, do you want to have a pizza and, you know, hang out tonight or whatever? And that would be the application for these ones. So I think that the jalapenos would probably be the best for both of us. And then these ones I really like because they're a thicker crust, but they fit in the air fryer after it's cooked. It's just like the same size as my air fryer, but it shrinks a little when you cook the crust. So it fits in there perfectly to reheat it. It's a thick crust, but it's like a personal pizza. And I get, when I cook them, I get 2 meals out of it. These are probably my favorite size. And these are just little cake pans. This is the dough that got kind of, I don't know, it must have been the one that I was turning on and off. There was a lot of chaos when this dough was being made, and it didn't soften up quite right. So hopefully after I get it in the pans, it'll kind of soften up. Or maybe this is the one I added the extra flour to. I can really tell a difference. Alright, I'm feeling like I'm not real thrilled with this dough. Maybe I'll take it because it's a little tougher and turn it into calzones because it's not going in my pan how I want it to. Looks beautiful. I hope they don't get overcooked when I cook them from frozen. This is what I'm talking about, like it's stuck on there. And I'm getting it off okay, but maybe I need a little more oil on the pan, I think. It looks beautiful. All right, first calzone.
Can I eat a piece of pineapple?
Okay, I've never made calzones. I think it's just pizza topping in a crust, so that's what I'm doing. I should be able to fit 2 on a tray too. Looks beautiful. Everybody in my family likes different toppings. Makes it tricky just to have a pizza night. I can't ever just like throw in a pizza for everybody unless it's cheese, which is fine. We do that sometimes. But it's nice to have the toppings that you like. Okay, I don't know if these are gonna puff up or what's gonna happen with them, but I'll just chuck them in the oven like this. So I know my boys would like sausage, which I was planning on making, but I don't have done yet, and I don't have stove room, so I don't know if I should cook it up quick for these or if I should just skip it for these. They would also appreciate onion. Wasn't prepared to do the toppings yet. I was gonna get all this crust stuff cleaned up, but that's okay. That's how it goes. Whew. These onions are rough. I think I'll get my stove cleaned off and cook up the sausage quick. These ones I'm cooking less time because I don't want them to get burned when we pull them out of the freezer to cook them. So they're still pre-cooked, but they're not as dark, so I think that'll work better. All right, this is what I have for sausage. It's just mild Italian ground sausage. All right, this is the last dough that I have ready to go. We'll try these deep dish pizzas again. Yeah, this is way nicer. I don't know what happened with that other one. Probably could have re-oiled these too. Oh well. Okay, these just need sausage. My crusts are starting to dry out. I have them sitting over there, so I gotta hurry up and get those in. These calzones are throwing me all off now. Really wish I had like 3 ovens. It would be so much more useful. I'll cut up the other onion. So I just mentally went through what I'm gonna have for pizza. And I think I'm not gonna do the extra dough balls because this is pretty much gonna be like a month's worth of pizza for us. And I think that if the kids want like a specialty pizza next time I do this, because I will do this again, I will take requests then. So I'm gonna get this cleaned up and then I can start an assembly line to do the toppings. And I think that this will be good. I have to shred the cheese and the sausage is almost done, but then everything else should just be, you know, decorating and going. So yeah, I think that should work out. Here's the calzones. These look delicious. I'm pretty happy with these. They didn't even ooze out super much, that much. They look really good. I'm gonna put some probably butter on them. Maybe sprinkle them with a little garlic salt. That sounds good. So these two were just waiting for sausage. I'll chuck a little on there. And then the crusts I have in have like 2 minutes left. Throw these in next. The others did open on the edges a little bit, so I'm curling these ones up instead of using the fork. Okay, I'm just gonna get the cheese shredded up, and then I think all the toppings are ready to go, and then we can decorate all the pizzas and put this project to rest. When I make pizza, I always like to mix Monterey Jack and mozzarella because it tastes good.
Can I have all this?
No, here. Open up. Okay, here's all the crusts that I have ready to go. The ones on top are pretty well cooled, so I'll just start with those. And I think what I'm doing is making like 2 for each kid. And then the big ones I'm just gonna make into cheese pizzas. And then we can kind of decide when the night comes if we want like one big pizza or individual pizzas. Do the ones for my daughter first because she likes the Alfredo and nobody else does. And I actually didn't think about how I'm going to freeze these. With black olives, I never slice them. I just take them and squish them. Whoops. I usually don't throw them all over the kitchen either. Then you can just break them apart. I think slicing them looks nice, but that's very tedious and I don't want to do that. So I honestly have no idea if these are going to freeze well. I'm sure they'll freeze well, but I don't know if like the toppings are going to fall off or whatever. So this is kind of experimental. I have frozen pizzas that I made before. Actually, I'll put some clips in. It was so funny. I messed it up big time. But it did taste good and it did work, except one of them didn't. But I'll put that footage in. I've been looking for some place to put that footage because it was so funny, but it wasn't like usable. I think I messed up. Oops. There's the carnage. It looks good. Well, it doesn't look good, but it smells good. And I might try it because it does look fully cooked. But I'm going to try this one on a pan. So that is 2 done. So I'm gonna take this pan, really line it. Okay, well 2 fit well enough. I'll get these freezing in the freezer. All right, so next I'll do my other daughter. I just realized I could probably throw them on here to freeze them. Duh.
Yeah.
Do you want to eat your calzone, honey?
What calzone?
It's a folded pizza.
Is it my dinner?
Yep.
Where is it?
It's on the stove. If you're ready to eat it, I'll put it on a plate for you. My son's not thrilled about the calzone. I'm gonna just throw some toppings on a pizza for him. He only likes cheese.